Oh, that's good whiskey.
Isn't it? Ugh. It's been a while since I had the Glenlivet.
Oh, God. All right. Let's do it.
Do it.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here live. Patron members, appreciate it. Just Lurch and I tonight. And we're just dialing some things in. We can hear us and we can see us. We would like to know if you guys out there can hear us and see us. So wherever you may be, let us know you can hear and see us. And we're so glad we've got so many patrons in here, members. And just remember, you don't have to. We're not saying you have to, but if you're in there, you can always change your new YouTube name to your real name if you want in your YouTube settings. That helps us identify you and who you actually are for a patron member. Again, not required, but it is easy to do. Otherwise, we don't really know who you are or who we're talking to, and we want to get to know you better. So a lot of patrons over time have changed their name, their YouTube name, so it reflects their real name. So when they're in chat, we can actually give you a shout out. Again, otherwise, we don't really know who you are by a alias YouTube name. But again, not required if you don't want to, but we like to throw it out there. We always like, obviously, we can shout out the real name and actually make a connection that way. So there you go. And we will just go ahead and do this thing. Hey, Bikeaholics. Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson on a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike.
I like gold.
Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Lurch, it seems we got us a voicemail here. Let's listen in.
Let's hear it.
Let's dial in.
Ryan, my name is Sam. I'm wanting to contact you regarding the brake system flush and change the oil for hydraulic. I have a 2015 Ultra Limited. I know it's easy to change out the oil, but I have been informed that the ABS module also needs to be flushed, and you can only do this at the dealership because it has to be set up to a computer with the ECM or something of that nature. I noticed in your videos that you don't have nothing to say or do about that. I wanted to talk to you about that and get some information on you. If there's any way you don't mind calling me, again, my name is Sam, 586-4.
All right. So, great question. We appreciate it. And thank you, Sam. lawabidingbiker.com/contact. Right from your smartphone or a computer anywhere in the world, from the built-in microphones. Yes, you can leave us a free message. We've got the platform. We love voicemails. We want to hear from all of you. So let's ramp it up in 2021. Send us the voicemails, even if it's a quick thanks or a funny joke or a skit or a duo. We don't care. Give us the voicemails. We love playing them. They're great. They're great. We want to hear from you. You hear from us a lot. We want to hear from you, the community. So I'm sure you heard that whole thing there. Lurch, Sam, thank you so much. So basically, guys, is what he's referencing, to put it in context, is our free video, which is a very popular video, and it is on flushing the ABS, flushes ABS brake system, basically. And his dealership tells him that there's a special computer and process that has to be done. Yes, we have heard this. We also have people that work for Harley and mechanics and people higher up in Harley that listen to this podcast. We know that for a fact because we've been emailed multiple occasions, and we thank you for that, that we have people within Harley-Davidson that tune into this show. So here's the deal. It depends how much, and if you want to get that free video, by the way, it's over on the YouTube channel. I'll link to it in the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode number this is how you get that, or search our website or the channel. Flushing, we try to flush the clutch system, the hydraulic clutch system, and the ABS. They're two different videos. So I responded to him, but basically here's the deal, guys. We've been doing flushes of ABS brake systems for a long time. And as our video is titled, ABS or non-ABS, it's specifically titled that way for a reason. Now, it depends how well you know your mechanics and your dealerships. on what information they're going to divulge to you. Because if it's same with car dealerships, right? If you don't really know, they have a set line that they're supposed to tell you, a service writer, right? So if you're not in good with them, they may not be comfortable telling you how to do it yourself or that. Yes. So what they're going to tell you in this case is the way I understand it is, yes, they're going to tell you the proper way is to have your oil changed at a dealership. We do a 390,000 point inspection. We check and polish each bolt. We check the axle nuts and we replace them if they're not shiny enough.
And the torque on every bolt on your bike.
We check it. We get a torque wrench out and we check everything to make sure. We've been through this in the past, guys. It's not true for Harley or any dealership, even if it's a car dealership. That's bull, okay? They have a list of stuff to go through. They're going to tell you that they have a special computer and all this to flush your ABS system. Here's the deal. We've done a ton of bikes over many, many years. ABS system is no different, really. I say that lightly. It has speed sensors on the wheel and magnets that sense your speed so it knows when to kick off. It has an ABS block. But when you're flushing your system with one, like we show you in the video with a little vacuum pump, you're flushing the system. Here's what a lot of guys will say too. We get this, Lurch. Oh, you guys didn't show how to exercise your ABS valves, your brake valves.
You mean lock them up? Go out and lock them up?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You didn't exercise. The dealership exercises them. You got to exercise them. And what I'm talking about,
whip them into shape.
You got to get them exercise and work on those buys. So what they're saying is that, and they honestly don't for the most part, is they'll open them and close them. Okay. You can do the same thing. Just go out on a nice pavement. I've said this before. Go slow, make sure your wheel's straight, and just lock up your ABS a little bit. You just exercise your ABS system. Okay. So maybe that's what they're getting to. I guarantee work on your bike at your own risk, but our video, we've done it. We continue to do it. Not everybody, a lot of people are weirded out by ABS like it's some mysterious system. It's not. It's got some speed sensors and it pulsates your brakes to help you stop quicker, honestly. But the system itself is not that complicated. Again, just those wheel sensors. So I answered them. Hopefully that helps. And of course, dealerships do great jobs. We know lots of mechanics. It's not that they're doing a bad job. It's just they have a set thing that they tell you. And it's not always exactly how they do it or what they do, but that's their business. And so we're certainly not talking bad about mechanics or dealerships. We've got lots of friends that are Harley mechanics. So there you go. And truth be told, if they told you, if they watched our video and you were friends with them, they would say, yeah, do it the way they did. It's just fine. You'll be fine right in your shop. So yeah, don't need a special computer. All right. I didn't mean to ramble on there too much, but we got a great topic to get into here. We have had a heck of a day.
Oh, yeah.
Want to ride longer, Lurch?
I do.
Are you tired of a sore and achy ass?
Kinda.
Lurch, sometimes he has a rough Saturday night and he wakes up in the morning, Sunday morning, with a sore and achy ass. And we're not sure why. Lurch still isn't sure why, but we're not going to ask.
There's only one cure, though.
There is only one cure. Fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. That's right. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions.
What with that? Uh-oh. You okay? You got the vid?
I need a little toot there. Oh.
You got a little dry, rambling too long.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. That's a telltale sign that I'm talking too long. All right. Let's do this and we're going to get right into it, guys. Oh, yeah. Once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. Let's do this freaking thing.
It's about time. You've been over there just rambling.
We got information to get out. We got sponsors to take care of, Lurch. This ain't an easy thing right here. I'm just saying, bro. We had the last announcement. It's kind of a big deal here. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the big MM, also known as the
99%
large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history by being here, by listening, whether you like it or not. That's right. You're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
We do have just one question before we get started, Lurch.
What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Mount up. and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and of course, your
high-tech redneck.
There you go.
You threw me for a loop there, because usually you do the first line, I do the rest of it. I'm glad I got it right.
I was waiting because I was trying to get my voice back, and you took over.
Oh, okay.
Took over, so I really appreciate it, actually.
I was looking down at the chat and was just going by feel, so I'm glad I could step in there. One thing before we move on, Gary Jackson's saying
in chat.
In the chat, he checked his he changed his brake fluid out a year ago according to our video, and has had no problems, and ABS still works because he exercises it regularly.
Yeah, nicely done. Thanks for the information, Gary Jackson. So yeah, that video doing very well on YouTube, and thanks for the feedback from the community that that we're not full of crap and the stuff actually worked. I've done it for so many bikes and never had an issue. So definitely we've heard that before from Sam. That's not the first time we've heard that message where dealerships tell them that there's this special secret computer that only Harley brakes are different than all other brakes on the planet, and they have to be done by a special Harley computer.
You know, and Harley's not the only manufacturer to do that type of stuff where they want to get you to bring it back in, because they make some money on selling the bike. Excuse me. Pardon me. They make some money selling it, but they make a lot on the maintenance, and so they obviously want you to come back. Yeah, and brakes is one of those things that a lot of people are hesitant to work on, or maybe they wait till they build up their skills in other areas. Because I used to not work on my own brakes because my thought was, if it doesn't go, so what? But if it doesn't stop, it's a big deal. And having a brother who worked for a couple of different places to do tire and brakes, he showed me how to do it. I went, oh my goodness, it's so easy. Why not work on it? So don't be afraid to work on your brakes. Chris
Durr says, what are you drinking, Ryan? I'm trying to spell it. Is it GLEN? Or NN?
It's Glenlivet.
It's the Glenlivet, but how do you spell it? I don't know. I'm just going to put it in there. Levitt. There. That's what we're drinking. It is mighty fine tasting tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. Lurch filled me up. So there you go.
A little something to keep the whistle wet.
This way. Yeah, there we go. Got to keep it real, though. I got to run the ship here. I got a big ship to run. New free video, guys. So today's episode we're going to get into, we've been working hard today. We've been out all day since early this morning, and yeah, we'll actually get into where we're at. And it's been a trying day, but always rewarding. We're doing a handlebar project, putting 12-inch handlebars on a 2020 Indian Challenger. Yes, we were lucky enough to get a Indian Challenger in the Law Abiding Biker Garage. We've been filming all day. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's going to be fun. We ran into some problems. We're going to tell you our thoughts. Our first handlebar job on an Indian. So we're going to give you our thoughts about the differences and what we think. And I know we got a lot of our audience that are Indian owners, and we love all bikes. And certainly when we get our hands on an Indian, we are all for that. New free video, Revit Worker Overshirt Review. Yep, I tested it. It's one of the pieces of gear, which we've already done an episode on. All the gear we tested on our ride and trip to Sturgis. You can get it in the show notes, of course, and you can get it over at lawabidingbiker.com/Revit, REVIT-worker-over-shirt. And yeah, pretty cool shirt. We've already reviewed it, so I'm not going to review it again. And we love our sponsors up front, but these people are also direct reason that this episode, and we are still going strong after 8 years.
Holy cow. Louis Caparoso of Clark, New Jersey, Scott Singer of Minnetonka, Minnesota, and Wade Wellner of Oak Park Heights, Minnesota. We also have Lucinda Hughes of Yucca Valley, California, Jake Moritz of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's top tier. And Ryan Agnew of Becker, Minnesota, top tier.
Finishing it off with Mark White of Clayton, California, top tier. Chuck Pulling of Berea, Ohio, and Ken Murray of Delatona, Florida. Lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits such as t-shirts and stickers. That's right. Access to that private Facebook group. It is a troll-free zone. Access to live video broadcast and chat like this. Access to podcasts months before everybody else. Those premium videos up on request. And, of course, access to those ride, meetup, and events like the one coming up here in 2021. In the California area. There you go. And again, the only reason after 8 years, I guarantee we're not a flash in the pan. You've seen the motorcycle podcast come, and have you seen them go? You've seen YouTube channels come and then die, and we are still going after 8 years absolutely 100% because of the community that has been built here. You guys are the ones that have helped us build it up, and your financial support, I say it all the time, I'm not kidding you. It's the reason that we still are going and the reason we will continue to go into the future. We work hard and we're going to keep working hard on our end, and your support helps us continue to work hard and put out the content and put in the time and work. You got something, Lurch?
It was nice as we're thanking our patrons, our new patrons. One of them's in the chat. So Jake Moritz, I hope I said that right. Nice. In the chat with us.
Nice.
And we have, we're not going to announce it now because the time's not quite right, but we have something coming up here in the next few months that's going to take it to the next level, hopefully.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Big news.
We got a lot of stuff going on here in 2021. Yeah. It is. Stay tuned. Lurch and I are both excited about it. Anyways, we'll get into our main topic. I'm also going to completely redo. We just invested a lot of money in upping our live stream here for you guys with, I don't have it obviously set up tonight. We're still kind of using an old system. They're webcams and they're not the clearest. We invested quite a bit of money. So hopefully within a couple months, we'll have the new live stream set up. It's going to be super high quality. We'll probably look even uglier.
Yeah, no doubt.
In much higher definition. Hopefully we'll have some better lighting, and we really want to up our game. We love interacting with you guys, so we'll be up in our live streaming game in the future. So look forward to that. We're always trying to take it to the next level and do what others are not doing and never really become stale. We're always trying to tweak things and keep it exciting, keep it real, and of course, serve you guys, the biker community, our patron community. So let's dive right into this. So that's right, today. So let's give the background on this. So Squirt, you guys may know him if you've seen the Sturgis documentary. If you haven't seen the Sturgis documentary, you got to see it. You can go to the website or just lawabidingbiker.com/ride-now is where all our documentary films reside on our website. The newest Sturgis documentary is there. You'll get to learn who Squirt is. He's a probationary member. He actually made probationary member status for the Sworn Few Motorcycle Club, which many of us here behind the scenes are members of. But he bought a new Indian Challenger during that documentary. You'll see it. It's a Indian Challenger 2020, and he's wanting to do some projects on it. So we were able to get our hands on it. People don't realize, I know the patron members do, they know us a little more intimately, but if you're listening in regular, sometimes people ask, why don't you do a video on a 1992, or they give some weird models and years because maybe they think we're bigger. We're still a bootstrap company, guys. They think we're bigger than we are. Like we just have access to like any bike we want. Like mostly what we do is we've either bought bikes and turned them. You guys have seen a lot of those bikes that we got a deal on, and then we do projects to them and turn them, or it's people in the club or Law Abiding Biker Media or beloved patron members there's many of them, like Brad Johnson's coming up next month.
Chris Rock's going to come up in a couple of months.
Patron members actually reach out to us and say, hey, I want to do this project. Do you guys want it? Would you be willing to film it? Do you want to film it? I'll donate my bike. And of course we get them over here. They get to tour the studio. Plus we get them on a podcast. So we try to give back to them too. But honestly, that's how we get most of our bikes and stuff. It's the community, again, falling back on the community that has supported us because we're limited on what bikes we have. And, so we're definitely Harley centric. So we've got an Indian now. We've done some past Indian videos on Indian John's bike.
Yes. And Rick, Big Daddy Kane had an Indian for a while. Didn't we do some stuff on his?
Yeah, Big Daddy's. Yeah. Sorry, I was reading comments. Yeah.
I think Power Vision or something.
Yeah, we did the Power Vision. Yep, we did exhaust on his, the Freedom Performance and all that kind of stuff. So, so I didn't want to get off track too much there. That's what we do here. So we got the bike in here. So it's Squirt's bike. He was willing to donate it to us for the day. Lurch has been, Cowboy's texting me.
It helps that he's a probationary member. And I said, I swear to God, you better make sure that you bring that thing down here and let us film it. Because sometimes guys will buy bikes and then they just can't wait. They've got to have that new shiny thing on their bike. So they do it before we can get it filmed. But I think it helps also that he bought some of this stuff during the winter and it's just starting to get nice here and we're hooking up and getting it in early and get the bars on. So he's been good and gracious enough to get it down here and give it to us. In fact, it's his birthday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So he had to skedaddle and get out of here, but we didn't get his bike done in time. He left it and he took your bike home.
Yep.
So pretty cool that he's left it down here for us to work on.
Chris Lezak is in the chat, and I just want to mention this. He wants me, which is a good point. Thanks, Chris. We got so much going on here. And don't forget, guys, that there are other patron meetups, like the East Coast patron meetups. Chris is involved with that. It's all in the private Facebook group is where this is going on, guys. So we have the yearly LAB meetup, which is sanctioned. We joke about that. It's sanctioned by us. It's the one we do, but there's all kinds of other meetups going on around in different places. So get in there. Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
I when this thing started, I didn't dream of that. It was just helping the biker community.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we've created a platform and a community where these guys are getting together, a safe place and a troll-free zone for them to get together and meet each other and have their own rides.
Yep. Do their own thing.
Yeah. And there's been last couple of years, it seems like there's been at least one, but I think there's a couple this year that are getting planned. So that is so cool that the patrons are getting together and getting to know each other and planning their own rides.
Yep. It is. Really it is
something I didn't think would come.
It still baffles me.
Yeah, really cool.
It still baffles me.
It's good to be part of that, huh?
Yeah, he says throughout the nation, such as this year in Wisconsin and Virginia, all details, on the patron-only private Facebook group. So there's so much going on in that group, guys. Literally, I can't even keep up on it. So I appreciate Chris bringing that up in the live chat here to remind you guys. There's no better time if you want to be involved in a community that is nothing but bikers helping bikers and troll-free zone and safe and meetups all over the place. And it's only growing every year. So there you go. Thank you, Chris, for reminding us of that. So
I'm still waiting for like our first couple because we have female patrons as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for like somebody to hook up and get married.
Yeah.
Have a lab wedding.
Then we need to bring them on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Definitely, bro. That would be badass. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. All right. So, great conversations going on in there. So let's talk about, why don't you just pick it up? Because you did Lurch here, if you didn't know, his title definitely is the Chief Operations Officer. He's been doing a lot of time on that. So he organized a lot of this project. So you know the bars and what we're doing here and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, not having worked on an Indian, as far as handlebar jobs, I wanted to make sure that I was educated and ready to go and not embarrass my boss here when he's filming me. So did a little bit of legwork, talked with Squirt quite a bit about it. What he has is 12-inch bars. These particular ones are made by Torch Industries, but there's several other
we have no
companies.
Affiliation. Never heard of them, in fact, before these bars. There's so many weird bar companies out there, dude.
Well, and what I'm seeing is some of these bar companies will specialize in a bike versus Indian versus Harley. So I think this is one that's a little, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, but they seem to be a little bit more geared towards the Indians. But KST is another brand that makes a lot of bars for the Indians, and Dirty Bird is another one. So those are three that I'm aware of. But these particular bars were 12-inch Torch rival bars. And I'd asked Squirt, I said, are we going to need to extend any of your cables or wires? And he says, everything that I see on the internet shows that I don't need to extend anything unless I'm going to like 16-inch bars. So we were pretty confident with his 12-inch bars that we wouldn't need to raise them. And that turned out to be the case. And we'll talk about some things that we think Indian does better than Harley, or they were thoughtful when they built them. And one of the things that they did was give you enough wire and cable length, not just on your brake, but also on your clutch, and then the wires that go into the controls. There's several inches of extra cable and wire. So we didn't have to extend anything. Definitely you can get up to 14. Maybe we thought maybe even 16 you could probably get away with, don't you think?
Yeah, looking at it, I would say 14 inches safe for sure.
For sure.
Which is what we were hearing. One of the things, to back it up a little bit before we get ahead into the technical side of things, one of the things about the Indian Challenger is, and I love the Indian bikes too, so don't get me wrong, I would have one of every bike if I was made of money. I just love bikes. So those handlebars are a little bit peculiar.
Yeah, they're
not unlike the Road Glide, which are awkward, kind of. Your bars were kind of awkward on the Road Glide when you first got it. It's weird how
the stock ones.
The stock.
Okay. Yeah.
And same with the Indian Challenger. Which if you guys, the Challenger is basically the Indian's version of a Road Glide.
Yeah,
right?
Very similar.
Yeah.
So the positioning on both of those, the Harley ones, they call them buckhorn bars. The Indian ones are very similar, where they're definitely canted in, and they definitely come back. So I think the idea was, I think for your average rider, they'd be pretty comfortable. For me, anyways, being a tall guy, I felt like, because I had to turn, and it's hard to, you can see on camera, it's kind of hard to explain on over the podcast.
Paint a verbal picture.
Instead of having your arms or your hands kind of straight in a normal position, you kind of have to imagine sucking in your elbows to your side, and they kind of turn away. And it's just a really uncomfortable position to be in.
It's weird how they decided on that.
Somebody somewhere must have told them that was comfortable. And maybe it is for somebody, just not this guy. And Tanner, who's about 6 foot, said the same thing. They just weren't in a comfortable position. And another thing that's kind of interesting about the Indians, not just the Challenger, also the Chieftain, so their Batwing fairing bike, is the bars go down and under the fairing to the triple tree. They're really long.
Right. That's what I mean. They pull way back, almost like weird beach bar things.
Yeah. Well, they kind of have to. They have to. I'm trying to. Is it because maybe the dash comes back so far?
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but the bars go down and way up underneath. It's just,
they're kind of funky.
They are funky.
It's a weird design.
It is a weird setup.
I don't know, and I'm not trashing Indian on that. I mean, Road Glides are weird too, but these are weirder, I think.
And I don't know if it was Rick's bike or Indian John's. I think it was probably Rick's talking about doing bars, and I looked underneath there and went, I don't know if I want to do that job. That looks like a pain in the ass, but it turns out it wasn't too bad. And we'll walk through a little bit through the steps as we go along. But so the 12-inch bars, and at the same time he was doing heated grips, which we'll get into a little bit later also. But Indian did some cool things with the heated grips. What I'm finding with the Indian is they think ahead, and they put a lot of the wiring and extra harnesses and things in place. So like if you want to put a touring pack or heated seat, they've got a stub underneath the seat. You just plug it right in. If you want to put different bars on, they've given you enough room. If you want to add heated grips, everything's there except for the switch and the grips. So really cool in that aspect. I give the Indian a lot of credit over that. And in fact, I think one of the things I told you earlier when we're taking it apart is it seems like Indian took a Road Glide and looked at it and said, okay, how can we make this thing better? Because it's really similar, but they did some things that are better in preparation for putting aftermarket stuff on.
They did, and then we ran into some things that they didn't do as well either. So we found out, So it's kind of hit and miss. But there was some things we're like, that's freaking awesome. I've been wanting that for a long time.
Yeah.
Getting off track a little bit, but it's on track because it's good information.
Okay.
Which we did talk about with Squirt this afternoon. It came up in conversation. Tim Tilson, the Tilsons, in the chat right there.
Oh, yeah.
So he said Lloyd's just cracked the ECM for the Challenger. And we just found out about that too today. It's true.
Is that the company, Tim, that you have to take your ECM off, send it to? They flash it and send it back to you, or they have some type of...
I think it's the same.
Some type of thing you can hook up to it, like an FP3 or some type of device where you can tune it yourself.
Yeah, I think it's the same one he was talking about because nobody else has cracked it.
Okay.
So I assume it's the same one Squirt was talking about. Let us know, Tim, in there. But the way we understood it is you got to take your ECM off, you got to mail it off, and
it says yep.
They hack it, okay, and then you can have it back. But
they jailbreak it. They hack it.
They jailbreak it, and that's been a long time coming on the 2021 Indians. But that sucks that that's the only way you can do it. You know what I mean? And that's one thing. The difference between Indian and Harley, and again, I love them all, but it's just a matter of fact, is it always takes them longer to come out with Indian parts. There's not as many, just because there's not as many in circulation. And the ECM, the aftermarket tuning companies, they don't work as hard because Harleys have cracks pretty quick. They tend to take longer to crack the Indians just because I don't think there's as many resources going at it really quick. And that's just something you have to be aware of, because everybody was kind of frustrated in the Indian community on how long it was taking everybody to crack the ECM so you could put tune it aftermarket. So I'm glad for the Indian guys that they definitely got that figured out. So good information. That's the kind of stuff that comes up in chat that we like to talk about. Lurch, let's talk about where were we? So let's talk about. So he did 12-inch bars. That's what is comfortable for him. And can you talk about the kind of bars he did? Did you talk about that?
The brand, yeah, they're the shape of them.
Yeah,
they're a bagger bar, but they did have the 90-degree turn with a point at the top. The ones that we hate to wire because they're hard to get the. It's not a clean sweep. The way that the stock bars are positioned, the bend is almost about a 45-degree angle, so it's easy to get the stuff through. This is a hard 90. Really cool bar, but it's basically going to put you in a more a higher handlebar position. So you're obviously going to go up and out a little bit and get your shoulders a little more relaxed and get you in a natural position.
Yep. So to start on the Indian to do bars, and now we filmed all this, of course, guys. We were planning to be done by now.
We're close.
And we're close. We're getting close, but we had to come do this podcast. We ran into a few little things. Always takes longer. Filming it has been a big deal. But the bars, heated grips at the same time, tank removal, fairing removal, and we're going to make a bunch of different videos. Of course, we're going to make a handlebar install video, but then we're going to put out a bunch of other videos too, like on, tank or fairing or heated grips and stuff like that in our style and the way we do it with great angles and great lighting. And there's a few videos floating around on YouTube, but they're pretty horrible from what we found. So we're going to do it in law-abiding biker style because we have got the equipment and experience to do it. And we're going to put out some high-quality videos on some of this Indian stuff. We're excited about that. Again, we've done Indian videos in the past, but it's been a while. So I'll be glad to get some of those back out on the channel. So start with, we got to take fairing off, right? Front fairing to access this, which isn't too uncommon. These parts weren't as uncommon as it is. It was fairly like Harley.
Real
similar. The fairing obviously comes off pretty simple. I don't think there's that much more to it than a Harley. You don't have to take the inner fairing off, just the outer fairing, which is nice. And then tank, which is, you can actually, a lot of people will slide the tank back a little bit. You can get it loosened up, slide it back a little bit. But like we always say, if you're going to go to all that step, I guess this bike, talk about that. That was one of the nuances that we found, which I think once you've removed the Indian tank, then you're golden from there on out. But talk about the challenges and some of the things that we're like, that's kind of dumb the way they did that.
Instead of just setting down onto the backbone and then bolting in 2 in the front and 2 in the rear, 2 bolts, the tank actually has some C clamps, not C clamps, like C notches in the tank that fit over the top of some rubber bumpers.
Exactly how my KLR is.
So you got to take the tank and you got to lift the back up about 45 degrees and then slide it out. And then other than that, there's just 2 bolts in the rear that hold the tank on.
Yeah, but talk about what we ran into.
I will.
Okay, all right. I didn't know
so
if you
it comes off. It comes off a little bit different. And then on the Harley, all you got to do is unplug the fuel line. With the Indian, you've got to get the fuel line off, which is pretty straightforward. It's a push in kind of tab deal.
And it's up top.
Quick connect.
Instead
it's up
of on
top
the bottom.
instead of underneath, which is interesting. There's a vent that comes from the top under the tank and down. So whereas the Harley ones have them just coming out the back, or just unplug stuff and then lift it up, it's a little more involved with the Indian. And then underneath the tank, there's 2 tabs where the vent line and the fuel line are zip tied to. So if you didn't know that, you'd try to lift that thing off and start. It wouldn't come. So that's why a lot of people just slide it back. And you could do that on a handlebar job, but the way that the bars go between the tank and underneath the dash and bolt on to the triple trees, it'd be kind of cumbersome to get it out without the tank. It was much easier because I watched, doing my studying before we did this job, I saw some other ones that they just slid the tank back, and they kind of had to really finesse those bars out of there.
You take a good risk at denting, scratching your tank.
It's not a whole lot more work just to, we had to use a custom tool first of all.
We did. We created. If you guys are in the private Facebook group,
you've
obviously
seen our custom tool.
We threw out some pictures today of our custom tool to hold the tank up. Yeah, we are going to patent that. It's a Coors can.
It was just the right size.
Well, it was full before Lurch cracked it and started drinking from it. It was supposed to be a tool.
Well, I mean, it was already out of the fridge and it had warmed up a little bit, and I didn't want it to go to waste. But you can prop the back of the tank up, and you can get underneath there and clip one of the zip ties, but we found you couldn't get to the other one. Because one of the zip ties...
You're kind of blindly doing it too.
Yeah, one of them's about the middle of the tank, and the other one's pretty close to the front. So what we did is we set the camera up on a tripod, and then you helped me, and what we did is we lifted the tank up and rocked it so you had access.
Kind of rocked it over to its left side.
Yeah.
Yeah, right side.
Right side.
So I could get up underneath it.
And once you clip that, then it all just came away.
So now that they're clipped, taking the tank on and off is really easy. But I just think that's kind of a bad design for them, because imagine trying to actually zip tie those back. We would have to rock it on its side and get it in place. And I don't know why you would. We'll secure it to something just so it doesn't dangle, but we'll make our own. We haven't finished that yet, by the way, which we're getting to.
We'll get there.
But we'll have to zip tie it to just something, but we'll make it easy because Indian doing that, that's a one-time use. Like once the dealerships take it off, I guarantee the dealership mechanics are not going to finesse and fight putting those zip ties back in the same place because it's a pain in the ass. So
I think only the rear one's going to be necessary.
That's what I think too. And that one you can get to fairly easy.
Yes. And that way in the future, if he's got to do this job himself, for some reason, got to take the tank off, he can use this custom tank prop, and he can reach around there, clip that one by himself, and then lift it off. And
if we can get away with it, I say we just, since we haven't done it, I say we just find a way if we can do it without zip tying at all, so that
we'll see.
It just comes off. We'll see if there's some way we can manipulate it and tie it up behind something else.
Okay.
Basically, I don't know. It just seems because every time you take your tank off, you're going to forget that's there, and you know what I mean? And you're going to be yanking on it. But that was something that I was like, that's a little bit weird that they would do that. But there's lots of stuff like that, trust me, on Harley too, that the factories do that you're like, what were you thinking? So let's do this. We got some other great stuff coming at you here and a couple stories. We'll do this real quick.
Hey, bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Ciro 3D has the products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Check out Ciro 3D's... I'm a mess. Ciro 3D's got your back for chrome, black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, grinding, cutting, or welding for an easy installation that equals less time installing and more time riding. Ciro 3D has a dream team of riders with over 40 years of experience.
You said a dream team, dude. They are a dream team.
It says right there. Oh, a design team. You were scrolling as I was trying to read, so I'm trying to keep my eyes up on it.
They are the dream team.
He's scrolling in the middle of me reading. So Ciro 3D has a design team of riders with over 40 years experience with a passion for and design of innovation. Ciro Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug and play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@ciro3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Ciro or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Ciro 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for all new Honda Goldwings.
I like it, the gold.
Better yet, help support us and head on over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Ciro 3D products.
Big Daddy Kane and Goat ready right now. Boxes, they're waiting. They've got peanuts over here, tape, and what are they going to put in that little package for everybody?
Oh, a good time. There's one good time in every package.
Coming to you when you open that package, you're definitely getting one good time.
I'm taking some shit for the Coors Light over here. Well, I don't care, Chris.
Oh, Chris is busting your balls.
I agree. Coors Light is water. And
it made a good tool, but it doesn't make for good drinking.
Yeah, you may not actually be able to see one. I've got one sitting down here. It's kind of my go-to for cheap beer. I do prefer IPAs, but when we're doing these podcasts, it's a good idea not to drink the IPA, especially if we're having a Glenlivet. So the Coors is the backup.
Move your mic over to the left a little bit and turn it because that's blocking your whole face. Oh, yeah. Look at that beautiful mug.
Okay. How's that?
Much better. You're just, all I could see is the arm mount. Okay. So, There you go. Let's dive back in. So things are going good.
Got the tank off.
Right.
Now we're moving to the fairing. The fairing does remove pretty easy. The windshield is an adjustable windshield that's mounted, not to the fairing. Well, it is in the fairing, but it's not part of the front fairing that is removed. So that's kind of a nice thing. You just have to take off the front fairing without the windshield, if that makes sense. So you got to pull out the speaker covers. There's 2 screws in there, same as a Road Glide. On this bike, there's a couple of screws in the glove box compartment. So you pop those open and pull out the insert and exposes those. Then there's a couple up underneath on each side, left and right. You got to pop the headlight trim off, and there's 3 of them in there, and then it pretty much just slides forward. The cool thing they did do about it, or do with it, is unlike the Harley, they've got tabs that you can set it on. So even there's 2 tabs in the front of the bike that the fairing sits on. So even after you've removed all those screws, it doesn't want to fall off. Mm-hmm. That's kind of handy.
It is, yeah.
I thought that was a good thought. Yeah. And then you just slide it forward, and you got, I think it was 3, wasn't it? 3 plugs you got unplugged to get the front lights unplugged, and then pulled away.
Yep.
Pretty straightforward, very similar to the Road Glide, Harley Road Glide.
Yep. It'll be very detailed in our video, of course, as usual, when that gets edited up and out. Pretty, as far as that goes, I like how it was engineered. I think, for the most part, besides the little gas tank deal there, that I can always find something to complain about. Because of course I didn't engineer it, and if I did, it would be absolute perfection.
Yeah, right.
I guarantee. So he also, at the same time, just like when we're doing the Harley handlebar jobs, it's always the best time is that you can do heated grips at the same time. Let's talk about, before we do heated grips, I think it would be wise to talk about the wiring of the bars. So we've got 4 Harley Handlebar Install videos all over at lawabidingbiker.com/Harley Handlebars. Those have been some very popular videos that we've sold over the years, depending on what bike you have. We've got the different videos over there for you. We've done a lot of wiring. Each project can be a lot different as far as that goes. So in this instance, we were dealing with fairly big bars internally, right? So we had some room.
Yeah, they're probably 1.25 inch bars.
And everything was internally wired.
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Which is not the case on the Harley, which doesn't really bother me. It's a touring bike, and it's all inside your fairing anyways. It's not a big deal to me, but it was a little bit different. Now, there's lots of other stuff that's internally wired in the Harleys, and we did the heated grips. We have our heated grips video too, guys. That's a very popular one. But all the wires, stock, everything was running inside. So talk about the wiring and what your thoughts were, because you've wired so many Harley bars, which it's really universal, guys. Is there anything you want to mention?
There is some difference. I'll just mention a few of the differences. So on the Harleys, the switches are hardwired, meaning the wires go right in the switch. You can't unplug them. On the Indian, there are plugs on both ends, so you can actually unplug the wiring away from the switches. So on a Harley, you unplug down inside the fairing, undo the controls, and then you have to pull the wiring away from the grips. It comes out from the grip side, the handle side where you grab it, and it's all one piece. It's connected. With the Indian, you can take off the control clusters and unplug them, and you have to pull them the other direction. You have to pull them down to the inside of the bar, because the wiring, they've got a left side wire and a right side wire, but it comes down to one plug that plugs in to the bike. Which
one big master plug.
One big one, which made it simple.
That's kind of nice.
Made it simple.
It really did. That was simplified.
Yeah. So once we got the bars off the bike and the control clusters unplugged, it was really easy just to pull the wires out from the left and the right side. And the heated grips, like I think I was mentioning earlier, one of the things that Indian did well is...
Before you get back into that, let's stick with bars.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Because that's a whole separate, I want to stay on track.
Okay.
So
you drive the way
pulling the wires through.
Yeah.
That was fairly familiar to us.
Yes.
Depending on how much you're pulling through, and again, these bars...
We're pulling in opposite directions, because generally speaking, we're pulling from the ends of the bars down to the middle.
Right.
And on this bike, we're pulling from the middle out.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. And I'm just making the connection there because I was filming it, but I'm so into filming it that I wasn't really making the connection there. You're right. So it was backwards from what. Yeah.
Yeah. And this bike is similar to the newer Harleys where they've really reduced the amount of wires that are going through the bars. They've got little computer ribbons that are up into the switches that require a lot less wiring. There's only 3 or 4 that are required on both sides. So
and small plugs.
Because
that's one of the big deals, guys, when you're doing bars. And we show you the tips and tricks in our handlebar install videos on pulling wires and plugs through. It can become a big mess. And that's can be one of the most difficult parts. So keeping those plugs small and Lurch has some really good tips and tricks. And we've made some tools, so to speak, some cables and different things that have worked for us very well over the years that we have hanging out here. It really was not too bad. We did get hung up on one side a little bit. That gave us a little,
Gave us a moment.
Gave us a moment that we're like, oh, we are hung really bad. But we're able to work it out. So, the smaller they can get with the wires and the plugs and the more technology there makes it just that much easier. So, and then of course, one side always has less wires than the other, which is your right side.
The right side has more because you've got the throttle by wire.
Because you got the throttle by wire, right? Yeah. And it is an electronic throttle.
Just like the Harley one.
Just like the Harley one. Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah. Probably from the same company, made in China.
Yeah.
It says right on it when you pull it out. Yep. Made in China. Your electronic throttle, made in China. That was very familiar when it came to that. The plug looked the same, everything. So a lot of familiarities. Yeah. Did I say that right? Mm-hmm. So between the two, again, it's really universal because it's wires and handlebars and you kind of got to just work through the process.
Yeah, the biggest difference was, for me anyways, when we got up to the half clamps and the controls. On a Harley, it all is kind of one piece that you have to kind of finesse and get together. And
control clusters and all that.
Yeah, and then you tighten down a couple of screws and the whole dang thing tightens down. Whereas on the Indian, the switches go on and they got a couple screws that hold that in place, and then you put the covers, cover, the housings over that and put a couple screws in it. And then it's actually a good idea. The clutch and the brake mount similar to the Harley, but it's not all interwoven with the controls. It's completely separate.
Right. So you can adjust them independently.
Yes.
Instead of one big unit.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. You can adjust. So on the Indian, you can adjust the switches, and then you can also adjust your levers. So a little bit more adjustment there. One of the things that they've done is instead of having a button on the switch that the lever hits for the brake light or on the clutch side to kick off your cruise control and whatnot, that's actually in the lever half clamp setup itself.
Right.
And then that has not on the right side, but on the
clutch side.
Yeah. Actually, on both sides, it's got a wire that plugs into it.
Yep.
From that half clamp and lever.
Yeah.
Which was different.
It was.
And kind of awkward for us to deal with.
They're small little plugs, little plugs, but doable.
And
you gotta be careful.
I'm not sure that I'd prefer one over the other.
Right.
It's just a little different.
Yeah. Good point. Okay, so let's move into heated grips, and then we'll get into some. We got debacles coming, and why we're still here doing this podcast, and we got to after the podcast go try to finish this project because we're
finished. All we got to do is button
we're
it
not
up.
Finished.
We got to film putting the fairing on and the tank on.
So everything's working.
The hard
that's the good
stuff's
part,
done.
right? Yeah, that's
hard
true.
Stuff's done.
That's true.
So with the Harley, if you've got a Road Glide or Street Glide, for the most part, there's no wiring included, if you will, other than on the later model bikes on the right side. It's already ready to go.
Kind of 14 and newer. Our heated grips video goes over that.
It's got that side, but then you have to run the wire for the left side, connect the two, and then you got to run the power and all kinds of stuff. One of the cool things that Indian did is it's already pre-wired. So the grips, both left and right, have a wire coming out of them with a couple of plugs, and all you have to do is then connect those to plugs that are already provided in the bike. And then there's a switch that you have to install. So unlike the Harley, which has the on-off dial turn, which is pretty handy,
All on the left grip.
On
it's
the left grip,
all adjustable
it says
there.
0 and it goes to 6 depending on the temperature.
And 6 will burn your hands off.
Yeah, well, I mean, 3 is about all I usually run mine on.
I've ridden below freezing all day on my police Harley, and 3.5, 4 was even as hot as I got them. Those are good. Harley definitely made those freaking good. I'll tell you what, but 6, I can't even, I burn your hands.
So it's all pre-wired. It's simple in the fact that all you've got to do is take off the old grips, open up the controls so that you can plug them in. We had to go a little bit farther because we were doing a handlebar job.
Right.
But really, the everything's there. You just had to plug in the grips there at the controls. Then you had to put a power switch on, which on this model, the Challenger, is in the left glove box. So like on a Road Glide, you'd have those glove boxes underneath the handlebars that are on the left and right side. On this one, you lift up the lid and there's a blank that you have to pull the blank out, and then you put the switch in, and then you plug it into the bike. Again, the wiring is already there. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that's different also about the Indian bike versus the Harley is it's integrated into their boom system. So not only, you don't just have to use the switch, you could also just use
their ride command system.
Yeah, is that what they call it? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Their version of the boom. You can turn it on and off from there too. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so just to clear that up, because I think we did, but Harley, everything's integrated in the left grip, on, off, switch. I really like that. It's really handy. It's really quick.
Simple.
I can reach up, adjust. I can do it blindly because I'm so used to it, to the different levels. Whereas, and Squirt said actually, it's his bike. He said he had done some research. Indian has the separate switch. That's fine. I'm not a fan of that. It's down low. It's down to the left. And now I've got a different switch when I could have everything right up on the grip. And he also said that a lot of guys are saying that switch breaks really quick and it's not very sturdy. And so it doesn't work very well. And so most guys are just end up adjusting it on their ride command, which to me, then you got to get in your ride command. Again, these are little gripes, having seen both, and a lot of it's personal preference. Again, it's not a dog on Indian at all. But you got to get in your actual infotainment system and hit the touch screen to adjust your grips, where, like I say, on the fly, I'm just riding left grip up. I barely put my palm over the outside of my hand. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, I've got backwards, and I can just turn. I actually do it like this. I don't even have to put my fingers and turn it. I actually just do it with the outside palm of my hand, with my pinky, and just makes minor adjustments. It just seems quicker. It seems like extra parts that they didn't really need to me, but again, it's fine. It works fine. It's just, I don't know. It seems like a little bit overkill for heated grips.
I hear you, and I'll give you a yes, but there's no backup for the Harley if the dial doesn't work.
It's true.
So if this switch goes out, he's still got the ride command that he can go and work. So maybe it's nice to have that second option. It's
not bad.
No.
I just think it was a little bit over-engineered as far as that goes. But I really like, the thing I do like is what Lurch said, is that they've got both left and right side already pre-wired. Why Harley only pre-wires one side, I'm not sure. But yeah. Anyways, they're still doing that. And of course, our video goes through all that, and it's totally doable. It's just, it's one extra wire that the factory could throw in. They're already doing the right side.
So on the Challenger, it's in that glove box. You got to lift that lid on the left side. But on the fork-mounted touring bikes, like the Chieftain and whatnot, the Batwing version, and the non-fairing bikes, the switch goes on the
tank panel, tank panel.
Yeah, where you got the gas filler, and then down below you've got a couple of blanks where you can put switches in. And that's actually easier because it was kind of difficult to get into the area to remove the screws to get the blank out on the Challenger. So on a Chieftain or a Batwing version and or a non-touring bike, fairing touring bike, that it would definitely be a little bit easier to get that switch in.
I'm making chat a little bigger. My eyes are getting bad, dude.
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier today, weren't we?
Yeah, I know, dude. It's too small over
here.
And
then Tim's saying Indian has 10 settings on the heated grips. He's never gone above 5, so it sounds like they're similar in heat.
Good to know.
About halfway up is all you really need.
So they're cranking too.
Yeah.
I like that. Good. That's great feedback for the community. Thank you so much on that. Awesome. Let's do this, and then we'll talk about some of our debacles here. Ride longer, Lurch. treat your ass with some respect already.
Respect it.
Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials. And it's unlike gel pads that will leak if punctured. We know that's happened to Cowboy. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around on your seat. Fits all motorcycles. Installs in seconds. Easily cleans. And helps dampen those gall-darn vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Yes, Lurch, even after those late Saturday nights. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full lineup of butt buffer seat cushions. We've been selling those things like crazy. The manufacturer has even been having trouble keeping up, and we're out of, I think right now, I'm not sure, but we're getting close to being out of the Pebble polymer, but you can get the classic.
We are, because Henry's asking, any ETA? No, I don't know that we have an ETA
We
yet.
don't. We're working on it. Big Daddy is working his ass off down there, as always, in the store, because he does all the ordering and stocking. We were as disappointed as everybody else. We love Butt Buffer. We're working close with them, but it's a manufacturing issue, and I think it had some to do with COVID and so it just is what it is. We're working on it, but no, we don't have a date. We have the classics. Honestly, they're almost exactly the same. The Pebble polymer, if you're riding in hot weather all the time, may be a little bit cooler, but again, it's up to you if you want to wait. But I'm running a classic. I even run a classic on the Adventure. I don't really. It's not that huge a deal.
I've got the polymer. I do like it. The thing, and Butt Buffer is not the only company that's having some of these delivery issues, chain of supply issues, getting caught up, because in March, April, people were completely shut down, and so we've sold them out.
We basically sold them out. Thanks to you guys.
Thank you to you guys. Yeah.
Thanks to the community.
So there is going to be a delay there. We've and Rick can attest to this. Big Daddy Kane is we're dealing with supply chain issues on a lot of products, because now that they're getting sold out, they're not quite back up to stock yet. So it's a pain in the ass, but we're working on it.
Yep,
but once you get your butt buffer, there won't be a pain in your ass.
Exactly. But we do have the classics. If you're interested in the classic, if you're waiting on the Pebble that's the only you want, well then it will be a little wait. But we'll try to let you guys know. And Big Daddy, of course, will hit everybody up on social media and all that kind of stuff when we have them back in stock. We're even having troubles keeping the high definition Sena headsets in. We were buying them out because that video blew up, and that's a great addition. They're just great.
Kuryakyn shift linkages. We bought out the West Coast pretty much.
We did.
So thank you guys.
And thank you. Yeah. Thanks to the community, not just the patron community, but the entire law-abiding biker community in general for supporting us that way too. Just freaking awesome. All right, as we're doing good, but this is a fun episode. We got chat. I'm trying to keep up on it, guys. I know you guys got a lot of stuff going on there. Yeah, Tim Tilson says in manufacturing, we are all having issues. Just be patient. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Chris Lezak said, Ryan, you should have your glasses on.
Why don't you?
You're right. I don't know. I started this episode without him, and then I bumped the font up on the chat because it's so small, but it's still kind of blurry. So I should just wear them, and I wore them all day, but now I can't get them on with my headphones.
You got to get them under your cans.
Oh, God, I can see.
Oh, look at you.
It's amazing. I thought I was going to be okay. Everything else, all the font was big, but that chat was getting a little bit crazy there. So now my cans don't fit as well. See, that's one thing.
Oh.
They don't fit as well. So let's talk about some of the debacles.
Okay.
Why we are let's just wind this episode down with
debacles.
Why we are not done. And you can say we're done all day, but we are not done. So tell me.
Yeah. So Squirt had a hard out. He needed to leave about 4:30, and I kept saying, "Well, you'd be okay by 5." He's like, "Well, I really need to leave about 4:30."
Because the old lady told him to.
Yeah.
And when the old lady tells you you got a hard 4:30, you got two choices: either buck up and stand your ground and then pay for the consequences, or you get home on time.
Life's all about choices, and I'm not going to tell you which one was the right one. But
now, me and Lurch, honestly, we're going to get off track. Now, me and Lurch have been happily married to the same. we're not married to the same lady, but we each have our
Same
own wife.
ladies.
Same ladies for many years. So we're settled in, and there's certain understandings and agreements that it's just the way it is. Because you've been married so long, Squirt's young and he's dating. So the expectations are a little bit different, and the jump to do what the old lady says is more prevalent. We learn that. It's fun to watch these young guys because we're like, yeah, I'll get home whenever I want. I'll tell you that right now. And then he's just looking at us, So that's not a put down on Squirt. We all started there. I remember jump, how high? Yes, ma'am.
Well, in the beginning, they can withhold something from you that you really want. And as the older you get, you're like, I'll just wait. Yeah. So that threat doesn't have quite.
I'll just rub one out. It's fine. We're good. Just
Jackson Livaday says, Matt, I didn't know Waldo had peach fuzz on his face. Those are kind of, where's Waldo?
I like it.
They are stylish glasses.
I like it.
His wife helped him pick them out.
I'm right here.
So debacles?
Yeah. Why are we still here, sitting here, not done with the bike on the lift, forcing this, or not forcing, but having to come in here to do the podcast and then try to go back out and finish?
Couple reasons, few reasons maybe. The biggest one is having watched the videos and preparing for this installation, I thought it would be a little easier than it was, just because of some of the things that
there's not great videos out there, by the way.
No, there's not.
And they, like usual, they skip all kinds of stuff.
Right.
That's why we're doing it the way we do it.
Yeah, we watched one from a pretty reputable company in preparation, and there was
some major
steps. Like how did that clutch assembly just come off? Because that thing's supposed to be plugged into the switch housing. So
it just magically disappeared and fell off.
Yeah, it just fell off. So they skipped some steps. And so what we say is we show you all the steps without missing any of the steps. So it took a little bit longer than I thought it would anyway. So I didn't quite plan it right. I thought we can get it done in time for Tanner to get out of here, Squirt. The second one is the wiring. So once you plug in the heated grips, now you've got a little bit of extra wiring you got to mess with and get in the right spot. And there's not a lot of extra room in the Harley or in the Indian switch housing and switch covers to run your wires quite right. And I have to admit, I'm man enough to admit that I was trying to get this thing done in time for Squirt to ride out on it. So I was starting to get a little bit rushed. And when we were putting the switch housing back together on the clutch side, one of the wires not only got pinched because it wasn't in the right position. When I put the screw, one of the two screws in the back to hold the switch housing covers on, it went through the wire. So I cut the wire in half with the screw. He
freely admits it. We've all done stuff like that. I've done plenty of stuff like that over the years. It's part of the experience.
But luckily, my father was an electronics engineer, and so he taught me how to solder and repair wire at a young age.
And Lurch does a lot of it on our handlebar videos.
Yeah, fixing a wire is not a big deal. So I stripped it off, tinned them, put them together with some. Then so tinning them is you put a little bit of solder on both ends, get that solder soaked into the wires. Now you've got wires that have solder on them already, and you just get them hot and touch them together, and they stick.
Mm-hmm.
And then put little heat shrink over. I mean, that took no time at all to fix.
Right.
But
we were getting in a hurry.
Getting in a hurry, and so
that's a good lesson.
That's a good lesson. Slow down
for us too, because we get in a hurry.
I do, and I look towards the future. Because right now, just a little behind the scenes for you guys.
Yeah, this is good. I like
it. Rick and Brian work down in the store. Ryan's here at the lab studio. I'm wherever the hell I'm at. I work out of town up in Wenatchee during the week. Live in Yakima, so Monday mornings I get up, go to Wenatchee, work all week. Friday afternoons I come home, and then my weekends are consumed just trying to keep my Yakima house
which
afloat.
Is a several-hour drive for those who aren't familiar with the area.
It's about 2 hours back and forth. So a lot of the work that I do is in the evenings, then after work up there in Wenatchee, sitting up there doing computer stuff. And so I have to balance my family life, my friends, my yard work and
paying job
and my paying job and then doing lab. So really we've got it down to one weekend, one Saturday generally a month. You and I get together.
We actually get together
and physically
Yes.
podcast and or we do video projects. So
both usually.
Yeah, no shit.
All the time, both.
We do. Yeah, you're right.
They're usually 14 to 16 hour Saturdays.
Had to wet my whistle. So we are rushed, but I look forward to it in the future when we're both retired and we just plan it out a couple of days and slowly take our time. So then probably less likely to run into little mistakes like running a screw through a wire. But another thing also that I did that slowed us down a little bit is on the left side, the grip, it fits pretty tight. In fact, the original grip has a little bit of glue in there that you got to break loose to get it off. But the new one, I put it on, got it in place, kind of tapped it in with my hand. And it felt like it was seated all the way. So then when we go to put the controls on and everything, everything looked fine until I went to put the half clamp on for the clutch. And just looking at it, looked like it's probably where we're supposed to go. But I tightened it all the way down and it just flopped. I went, oh no.
Where the bars taper down.
Yeah.
They taper down, yeah.
It was like, my first thought, honestly, was, oh shit, these bars aren't.
That's what we were thinking, yeah.
Yeah, this isn't going to work out. And then we grabbed the old bars and started looking and went, no, they're the same. So what's the problem? The problem is the grip wasn't on all the way. So it was tight enough that I had to grab a rubber mallet and tap the bar or the grip onto the bar the rest of the way. And once it was in the right position, everything went together like it was supposed to. So,
and if that doesn't sound like a big deal, let me jump in.
Okay.
If that doesn't sound like a big deal to you guys, you're like, oh, so what? So you took it back apart. The way we film these things, if you saw behind the scenes, some of you have, like the amount of work that goes into that. And now we've filmed this portion up to this portion. And so now everything on all those takes that we did looks wrong and they're garbage.
Yep.
Because some things you can fix and edit, but things like that you can't fix and edit. So basically, not only do we have to fix the whole thing, we get to start. That means moving lights, moving shots, adjusting lenses, focus, all the different things that we just did. We get to go all the way back and rewind. So what normally would take 15 minutes to fix now just turned into an extra hour. So it's a big deal and it happens all the time. So I'm not dog and lurch at all. This is what we do. And it's not the first time, but that gives you a little bit of behind the scenes look, because that just added, 45 minutes to an hour. And we got to think, where do we leave off and where do we pick up? So this is all seamless, because obviously our videos are very succinct. We don't want you guys to sit through all that. We want it to be very succinct. So you just know what you need to do and how you need to do it to get the job done and not make any mistakes and make sure you do it right. So anyways, I just want to give a little bit more behind the scenes on why that becomes a much bigger deal when you're already on a 14, 16 hour day.
And to add to that, Squirt, he goes, I didn't realize how detailed and how much went into getting that shot and making sure that you got the lighting right, the camera's in the right place. I'm not blocking the shot with my hands. I do a lot of off-handed stuff, left-handed, weird positions.
Just so I can get the shot.
Just so you can get a shot. And one of the things Ryan said on this bike is like, every angle is fucked. It's so hard to get the camera. These bolts are in weird places and it's hard to get good shots. So we were a little slower than normal just because we're working on a bike that we hadn't worked on. Then as time got to be a crunch, I was getting a little rushed and making some mistakes. So those are our
because we wanted to get Squirt home.
We did. And he's such a nice guy. Ryan, and I told him up front when we're planning this, if something I think we got enough time. If something weird happens and we run into something, you got to go. There are several other bikes out there. You pick which one you want to take and go. So he ended up grabbing your Street Glide and taking off so he can get home in time. And
yeah, he's got the 14 Street Glide. He took her all the way back home.
Yeah.
So I'm missing my bike, but I got me a half put together Indian on the left.
You got a 2020
Challenger. I got a 2020 Challenger.
Yeah, you traded up as far as it goes to in years, newer bike.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's debatable if you'd be up or down.
Right.
Trading, depending on your preference for Indian or Harley.
At least the bike he took is put together. Because this one isn't.
You asshole. This one will be. We're down to just putting it back together. Everything works. We before we went and grabbed dinner before the podcast, I did make Ryan just wait a little bit and plug it in, turn it on, make sure everything was getting warm. And so
the heated grips. Yeah,
I was a little concerned with that wire that I had pinched. Is like wanted to make sure nothing else was pinched in there and everything. So it all It all works. So that it's not a big, like I said, it's not a big deal that we broke a wire or didn't have the grips seated all the way. This is a job that if you and I just got it done, 4 hours?
Oh, no, 6.
6 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you wanted to take your time and do it right and not make mistakes.
It's definitely a single day job. Yeah. It'd be a little longer with one guy.
Be helped to have 2 hands on a lot of the stuff, guys.
Definitely. Because one of the differences, so those are debacles. You want me to talk about a couple more differences?
I do, right after we do this.
Go ahead.
Are you searching for the easiest and quickest attachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint.
Slap your bird.
Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. His father-son team designed something really special. You can't find it anywhere else. Yep. And these guys ride so they truly understand the needs of bikers. That's right. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Head over to the Law-Abiding Biker Store. Check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. Of course, we've got the Rick Rack system since we're talking about Indians. For Indians and Harleys, we'll all be rocking those bad boys like we did last year. To Sturgis will be rocking them down to California this very year. There you go. So talk about, you want to finish up as we wind. We're going to wind this episode down. We're still having fun chatting. I see a lot of great conversations going on in there, guys. Thanks for being here. And go with it, Lurch.
With the Challenger in particular, and I would imagine with the Chieftain, you take the bars off a little bit different than you do on a Harley. On the Road Glide, it's pretty easy to get to the top of the bars where you take the top clamp off and you just undo 4 bolts, take that top clamp off, and the bars come loose.
Glad you brought this up.
Same thing on the Street Glide. Except for on the Street Glide, you got to drop the fairing forward to get to the bars. We've tried in the past to just pull the stereo out or something like that. It doesn't work. Best thing to do is just lay that whole dash forward. And again, you take off the top clamp, which has 4 bolts, and remove the handlebars. On the Indian, the way that the fairing is designed, you go from underneath and take 2 bolts out of the risers, and then you can pull the riser and clamp and bars away. Not a big deal, but the challenge is on Harley, you can put your new bars on and put your clamps on and tighten them tight enough, but you can still get on and then rock them back and forth until you get to where you want to be and then cinch them down. On the Indian, you have to put the risers and clamps all together on the bars and then slide them up underneath the dash in place and then tighten them up. So we did a test fit, mocked them up, got them in the right position, and we got lucky the first go around. We got them in the right spot, and Squirt was happy with it. But you may have to, particularly on the Challenger, maybe on the Chieftain, is connect the risers and clamp and to the bars and then mount them to the bike and test fit. We might have to do that a couple times. But we just got lucky and nailed it on the first go.
Yeah, glad you brought that up. That's kind of a weird deal, having to take them off and on.
And for those that have not seen an Indian or not sure what we're talking about, it's really hard to paint the picture. But the bars they go underneath and kind of quite a ways away from the rider. It's a weird setup. It goes down and then under, and then that's where it mounts. So it's just kind of different in that aspect. Yeah,
good call. And so we got to the point basically where we got through all that, sent Squirt home.
Yep.
He's going to come back in a day or maybe Sunday or Monday to get his bike. But hey, he got a ride on the Street Glide, bro. He should be pretty happy.
He's getting free work done on the bike, and we've now given him another reason to ride, another day to take a significant ride from his home. He's about an hour and a half away. So he gets to get out Saturday or Sunday or Monday now for a little bit longer ride. So we really helped him out if you think about it.
Yeah,
we gave him some wind therapy. Get his knees in the breeze.
Heading to Cali this year, bro. I think I played the song our last Cali trip, but that was like 6 years ago or something.
It's been a while.
Oh yeah. Looking forward to it because the guys, it's coming quicker than ever. I got daydreaming there about heading to California, bro. It's going to be a good trip. All right. So anything else as we wrap it up here and wind down? I'm checking chat to make sure what's going on in here.
No, the bars.
Anthony Peters says my first handlebar job took about a day and a half.
Yeah.
The last one I did 3 hours. Yeah. It's definitely, it's a universal process. So after you do it a few times, there's always going to be little nuances, but just like us, but you can work your way through it.
Yep.
Regardless if it's an Indian, a Honda, a Harley. I mean, come on, guys. It's wires and handlebars, but it can be overwhelming. I remember the first few we did, and you got your tank off your bike, and you've got fairings off, and you've got wires everywhere, and it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's why our videos obviously help so many people, our Harley handlebar videos, because it gives you the confidence to go step by step and go, okay, now I can see, because we never had access to that when we first started working on Harleys. There was no videos or nothing.
No.
You just had to wade your way through it, which is how we learned, which is a kind of a good way. But it was very uneasy because you're like, there's no reference material here. Like you either figure it out or you're not riding your bike anymore. So fortunately, with that experience, we brought it to and put it on videos.
Yeah.
And we're able to show bikers how to do it in their garage, basically.
Yeah, so
but
luckily you had already done it on your 05 wide glide. And then when I bought my 06, we didn't have the tools, the techniques, the knowledge, the lifts that we have now. But my 06 had about 100 miles on it, and we had it on that little motorcycle jack that was underneath the frame, lifts it up,
little cheap,
strapped down to it, and we had because of course I had to put all kinds of bullshit chrome on it, but we had the back tire off, we had the seat, of course, the tank, all of the handlebar stuff. So basically, it's a frame, a motor, and a front tire sitting there. And this is my first Harley, and we've got it with 100 miles on it. We got it torn apart,
and no reference,
just
winging it. We just winged it, dude.
And we did it.
We both between our abilities and working on cars in the past and stuff and different. But it can be intimidating.
Now, no big deal. Like Anthony says, first one was a day and a half. Second one was 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. That can be.
Final thoughts?
No. I don't have a lot of final thoughts other than we appreciate you guys being here in this episode or listening to the episode and chatting with us and all that kind of stuff. We love the live chat. We're going to get back here in a minute. We're going to get out there and finish filming. We were actually going to do a second episode, but I think that's going by the wayside. We weren't going to do another live episode, but also don't forget there's a lot of new episodes that we've recorded, but we uploaded them. We didn't do them live, but we recorded them early. We uploaded them into the back end of your patron accounts. All right. I'm trying to think, dude, if there was anything else today that...
No, it's very similar. Like I said earlier, it felt like they looked at a Road Glide and did it their way and did some things better and some not so better. But I will tell you this, now having the day to work on it, I like it. I'm impressed with it.
Yeah.
Still a Harley guy.
Right.
But I'm more impressed with it now than I have been. In the past, all I did was a service video on John's bike. I didn't really wrench on Rick's. So this is the first Indian that I've really got to play with and tear apart. And overall, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Nicely done. Yeah. On that bombshell, I think we should start taking it out of here, guys. Of course, we love all these patron members that were chatting with us and hanging with us, and they're in that private Facebook group, guys. I'm just finishing up some comments here. Yeah. Gary Jackson says so much attention and detail. He had made some mention about our videos being great and nothing else like it when it comes to DIY, courage, and confidence. Yeah, it's very true. If you can see it visually ahead of time, you feel more confident going into it.
No doubt.
And something you can fall back on. Yeah, well said, Gary. Well said. All right, guys. We love our patron members. Of course, we love our sponsors. But for whatever reason, we'd like to get to know you better in the private Facebook group and all that kind of stuff. But hey, if the only way you could support us is through a flat donation, we never balk. At a flat donation, we really appreciate that. Ron Settle of Tucson, Arizona, Carl Raymond and Richard Byerly of East Hampton, New York. He messages us with his donation. He says, I purchased the Sturgis video for $7.95, and to me, it was worth more. Here's another $25. Keep doing what you doing! Exclamation point. Thank you very much, Richard, for those kind words. And yeah, it means a lot to me.
Yeah, no doubt.
It means a lot to me, as much work as I put into those things. So yeah.
Well, you want to know that what you're putting out there is beneficial and means something to people, and that's,
that they're appreciating
that's evident, and that means a lot.
Yep.
It makes us feel good about what we're doing, and it helps us know we're on the right path, doing the right thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It definitely
keeps us motivated to keep on going.
Keep on putting that
motoring on down the road.
Yeah, buddy. Keeps that putting one foot in front of the other. Yep. Definitely. So well said. Well said. Thanks, everybody. Tim Silson, Chris Durr, awesome job as always, he says. Just reading some of the last comments here. Great show. Gary Jackson says, thanks for everything you do. Thank you, guys. Amazing. Scrolling through this chat. It blew up tonight, so that was fun. Yeah, Anthony Peters, I like the diversity, like my whiskey, y'all rock. Yeah, I'm scrolling back up in the comments here. Yeah, nice, guys. Oh, don't forget, we got a lot going on in the Law Abiding Biker store. We mentioned it. There's a whole bunch of, we're working on it, adding new products all the time. So, yeah, when you get a chance, head over there, check it out. We absolutely can't mention a lot of this, all the products that there's too many. We did do an episode, the extravaganza episode.
Yes. The store update with
tried to talk about some of the stuff, guys, but those guys are so busy down there, but doing a great job, and we're going to continue ramping things up here in 2021 and keep adding more products and things we think are helpful, for the biker community. So there you go. Lurch has got some wrenching to do.
Yes, I do.
And I got some filming to do.
Yes, you do.
Chris Durr says, Big Daddy needs some women's sizes and swag. Yeah, I'll have to tell him that for sure. Thanks, guys.